Yo, what is up, my friends? Welcome back into the podcast. Yet another episode of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. Guys, today I'm going to be giving you my wide receiver rankings from now through the rest of the season. That's right. I want to be very clear that this is not Week 7 specific. These are rankings for Week 7 through the rest of the season. And it's important to do these rankings, guys, every 3 or 4 weeks because the wide receiver landscape just changes so much from week to week. So it's important for me to do this video to help you reassess value for all of the wide receivers for both the trade market and for setting your lineup from week to week. So this is very important to do about every month, and I'm going to continue to do that throughout the season. And I'm going to get right into it, guys. But if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. And if you do enjoy my content today, guys, make sure to drop me that like, as likes help my channel tremendously. All right, guys, I'm going to get right into my number one, and that is Devante Adams, guys. Devante Adams is one of the best wide receivers in the entire NFL. His ability to beat a double team is like nothing I've ever seen. This dude has tremendous talent. He is fast, he's strong, he's got great route running abilities, and he's got one of the best arm talent quarterbacks of all time in Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. This is the best quarterback-wide receiver connection in all of fantasy football. And look, this dude has weeks where he literally has 15-plus targets. He has weeks where he handles 35+% of the target share for the pass catchers on the team. This dude has everything going for him, and he's the best wide receiver in fantasy football, so he's my number one. My number two is going to be Cooper Kupp. Okay, guys, if you're wondering why Cooper Kupp is so good this year as compared to years past, I can tell you exactly why. First of all, he has a way better quarterback in Matt Stafford throwing him the ball. That's the most obvious reason. The next reason is, guys, this dude is getting 10-plus targets every single game. He has not had a game yet where he's had less than 10 targets. This is true wide receiver one target share. And, guys, this dude's ability to create separation in his routes for a guy that just runs a 4.65 40 is very impressive to watch. I mean, this dude breaks people's ankles and creates like 5 yards of separation off covered players that are faster and more athletic than he is. It's extremely fun to watch this guy run routes. He's one of the best route runners in the league. Going into the season, a lot of experts wouldn't have told you that Cooper Kupp is a top 5 route runner, but make no mistake, this is absolutely the case. This dude can get open for Matt Stafford to feed him the rock. He's getting tons of scoring opportunities, and he's scoring tons of touchdowns, getting 100-plus yards games. Like, it's, this dude is just an absolute monster. So start him with confidence going forward. My number 3 going forward is going to be Steffon Diggs. Guys, Steffon Diggs, don't worry about him. He's going to be just fine. He is in what might be the best offense in football in the Buffalo Bills, and he is getting peppered with red zone targets. Guys, this dude's only scored 2 touchdowns thus far, but that's an absolute fluke. This dude is the number one wide receiver, the number one player in all of fantasy football as far as red zone targets. This includes running backs, tight ends, anybody that catches passes. Steffon Diggs is the number one red zone target in the whole NFL, and yet he only has 2 touchdowns playing for this offense. Come on, guys, this is a massive fluke. He is due for serious positive touchdown regression. Look for this dude to have at least 10 touchdowns for the rest of the season going forward, if not more than that. I'm telling you, this dude is fixing to go off as far as touchdowns, and he's still going to have plenty of 100-yard games. He's Steffon freaking Diggs, guys, playing in the Bills offense. This dude's a monster. Don't worry about Steffon Diggs. He's going to be a beast. So this guy is great. Start him going forward. My number 4 is Tyreek Hill, guys. Tyreek Hill gives you the biggest weekly ceiling out of any wide receiver in the entire NFL. And look, this dude is good enough to beat a double team. There are times where teams double team him and it actually works and he gets shut down for a week. So he is going to have some bust weeks, but this is one of the best wide receivers in the league. He has Pat freaking Mahomes throwing him the ball. His big playability is the best I've probably ever seen in any player, and this dude just gives you week-winning performances like all the time. So you have to start him every single week. And he's my number 4 going forward. My number 5 is going to be DJ Moore, guys. DJ Moore is the biggest target hog in all of fantasy football behind Cooper Kupp. This dude sees double-digit targets pretty much every week. Sam Darnold is a way better quarterback than anyone was giving him credit for going into the year. Now that he actually has some weapons around him, he can definitely get those weapons the ball. DJ Moore is the clear number 1 on the team. No competition from Robbie Anderson or Terrence Marshall or any other pass catchers. This dude is the weapon, and with Christian McCaffrey out, he's a clear top 5 wide receiver, and I think he's a top 5 wide receiver even when McCaffrey comes back, so he's my number 5. My number 6 is going to be Mike Williams. Guys, I want to place Keenan Allen ahead of Mike Williams because it's Keenan Allen, but Mike Williams has been nothing short of sensational. He was drafted in like the 10th round in most leagues. This is an absolutely unbelievable value, the best value in fantasy football by a long shot this year. And look, this dude has the clear ability to make big play after big play with Justin Herbert throwing him the ball. So he's a threat every week to give you that massive ceiling type of game. And I think his floor is higher than he's presented in those 2 out of the past 3 weeks where he kind of busted because he just plays on such a good offense and he's heavily targeted. So this is a decent floor player with a massive ceiling, so he's my number 6. My number 7 is going to be Calvin Ridley, guys. Calvin Ridley is going to be just fine. He's playing in an offense that's getting better from week to week, and he hasn't even been on the team, so think about that. This team has gotten better at moving the ball without having their number 1 weapon in Calvin Ridley. The emergence of Cordero Patterson in the offense is a big reason for this. Either way, the offense is trending in the right direction. Matt Ryan is still a good quarterback, and he's going to produce great numbers for his number 1 receiver, Calvin Ridley. Look for Calvin Ridley to dominate going forward. Get your hands on him if you can. My number 8 is going to be Justin Jefferson, rookie sensation Justin Jefferson from last year. He has been nothing short of absolutely just unstoppable since he's been in the league. This dude sees double-digit targets almost every game, despite this being a run-first team. He's the clear number 1 receiving weapon. And the fact that Dalvin Cook gets fed the rock so much and that this team runs the football the way they do, all that does is open up play-action plays for Justin Jefferson to make big plays downfield. And teams can't worry so much about stopping Justin Jefferson because Dalvin Cook is such a threat. They have to worry about Adam Thielen. We've seen the emergence of KJ Osborne in the offense. So you can't double-team him. And he can't be beat in single coverage. So this dude's going to eat all season long. He's my number 8 going forward. My number 9 is going to be Terry McLaurin. Guys, Terry McLaurin is one of the most talented wide receivers in this league, if not the. This dude runs a 4.35 40. He's got a big alpha build. He's a great route runner. There's nothing that this guy can't do. No matter who his quarterback is, he produces awesome fantasy numbers. And this dude is going to be a great receiver no matter who his quarterback is going forward. He's a true wide receiver 1. My number 10 is going to be Jamaar Chase. Guys, Jamaar Chase has been very fun to watch this year. He's not really getting wide receiver 1 target share, but he's definitely producing wide receiver 1 numbers because he just cashes in on so many big plays. This dude's an extremely talented wide receiver, and he has a great connection with Joe Burrow. So he's going to get you monster fantasy performances going forward. This dude's a beast. Start him going forward. My number 11 is going to be Keenan Allen. Guys, Keenan Allen's one of the best route runners in the league. He doesn't really have alpha athleticism, but he is a relatively big guy. He's a big target. He's great at eating out of the slot and beating you underneath. He can beat you downfield too. Don't be mistaken. This dude can still make plays down the field. Mike Williams isn't the only guy who's going to do that all season long. Keenan Allen is due for some big plays himself. And considering the fact that he gets a massive amount of targets and what's a very high-scoring team, and a lot of those targets are targets within the red zone, this dude is going to produce good fantasy numbers this year, guys. He's actually a really good player to have on your team, so start him going forward. My number 12 is going to be Deebo Samuel, guys. Deebo Samuel has been really good this year. He's out-targeting Brandon Ayuk massively. He's gotten in the end zone 4 times. He's having 100-plus yard games on a consistent basis. This dude is a candidate every week to have a monster fantasy performance, so start him going forward. My number 13 is going to be DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, guys, DeAndre Hopkins is a little bit of a concern because he's not getting anywhere near true wide receiver 1 target share, but he has true wide receiver 1 talent. He's probably the best receiver in the entire league at making contested catches, and he's in one of the best offenses in the entire league in the Arizona Cardinals. He's got front runner for MVP Kyler Murray throwing him the ball, and he's going to have weeks where he gets in the end zone just as a consequence of being a great receiver with a great quarterback on a great offense. So he's got massive touchdown upside, so you're playing him every week. My number 14 is going to be CeeDee Lamb, guys. CeeDee Lamb has been awesome the past 2 weeks for the Dallas Cowboys. Guys, when the Dallas Cowboys are in closer games, they have to target CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper a lot more. So, guys, the Cowboys aren't going to blow out their opponents every single week. We saw this week they had a close game with the Patriots. There's going to be games where they're beating the crap out of their opponents and they decide to run the ball. And in those games, you're going to see low volume for CeeDee Lamb. So that makes him a little bit of a boomer bust kind of receiver. He's going to give you duds on certain weeks. But we've seen that he can give you really good weeks as well, and this dude is way too good to have on your bench. He's on a great team, so start him with confidence going forward, guys. CeeDee Lamb's a beast, so you can be confident in him. My number 15 is going to be Mike Evans, guys. Mike Evans is. It's hard to say he's the most talented receiver on his team because Antonio Brown is there. Chris Godwin's really darn good too. And there's so many master feet in Tampa Bay, but this dude just gives you such a tremendous weekly ceiling because he has massive touchdown upside being in a Tom Brady-led offense. And there are weeks when he just gives you that huge fantasy performance. This dude sees double-digit targets in a lot of weeks. He's a candidate every week to give you multiple touchdowns in a 100-yard game, so he can win you weeks single-handedly. So start him with confidence going forward. My number 16 is DK Metcalf, guys. This is a Calvin Johnson alpha wide receiver who is an absolute athletic specimen. I'm never putting a guy like DK Metcalf on my bench. I just refuse to do it. I don't care if Ben DiNucci's throwing him the freaking ball. DK Metcalf is in my starting lineup. And look, guys, DK Metcalf is still producing decent numbers with Geno Smith. I mean, we saw in the game where Russell Wilson got hurt that he had an actual pretty good connection with Geno Smith. This team is leaning on the run a lot more, but DK Metcalf is still going to eat because of his talent. And Geno Smith isn't that bad of a quarterback, guys. He'll still produce decent numbers for his wide receiver one, and that is DK Metcalf. So play DK Metcalf with confidence going forward. My number 17 is Antonio Brown. Guys, fun fact, Antonio Brown is the lead target wide receiver for the Bucs since coming onto the team. I don't think anyone saw this coming, but at the same time, look, you've got the GOAT Tom Brady throwing the ball to the best wide receiver of the past decade. This connection is extremely fun to watch, and Antonio Brown's upside is tremendous. Unfortunately, he's going to give you weeks where he busts because there's so many great players on Tampa Bay, and we've seen Leonard Fournette emerge as a volume hog in the offense as well. So there's just so many mouths to feed that there's going to be weeks where any of these players are a candidate to bust. I would say that Chris Godwin probably has the safest floor on the team, but Antonio Brown has a significantly higher ceiling just because it's Antonio Brown. So start him going forward with confidence. Next on my list is Chris Godwin, right there behind Antonio Brown, because look, Tom Brady loves his slot receivers. Chris Godwin is the type of guy that he's going to get the volume, he's going to get the red zone usage, and he's never going to have a game where he gets less than 5 or 6 targets. I mean, this is a guy who has the safest floor out of all the wide receivers, so you can start him with confidence going forward. My number 19 is Courtland Sutton. Guys, Courtland Sutton's the clear-cut number 1 on his team. The 2 pass catchers on the team are Courtland Sutton and Noah Fant. And so due to volume alone, this dude's going to be fed the rock a lot, and he's going to have massive weeks where he gets you touchdowns and 100-yard games. However, he's going to also be a bust player because he's on the Broncos, and the Broncos' offense is very suspect. So he's a high-end wide receiver too, but I wouldn't call him a wide receiver 1, but he's great. You could definitely start him going forward. My number 20 is going to be Amari Cooper. I want to have Amari Cooper right next to CeeDee Lamb, but it's just looking like CeeDee Lamb is really just getting the majority of the targets on this team. Their targets are similar, but CeeDee Lamb leads the team in targets. He leads the team in receiving yards and all these things. And Amari Cooper hasn't had a massive week since week 1. I don't think that that's necessarily meaning that CeeDee Lamb's just going to beat the crap out of Amari Cooper every week as far as fantasy production. But I have to have CeeDee Lamb higher than I do have Amari Cooper right now. But look, Amari Cooper's an elite talent. He's a great route runner. And he's in the Cowboys offense. So start him with confidence going forward. This guy's going to be a beast. My number 21 is going to be Marquise Brown. I think that Marquise Brown's numbers are going to regress a little bit just because of the way the Ravens run their offense. Their biggest weapon is Lamar Jackson running the ball. They do like to pass the ball to their tight ends and everything like that. I just don't think that Marquise Brown is going to continue to produce super elite wide receiver 1 numbers, but he's a definite wide receiver 2 because of his weekly upside. So you can start him as a mid to low range wide receiver 2 going forward. My number 22 is Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is in a great offense, guys. I mean, the Vikings put up points like crazy every single week on whoever they play, and Adam Thielen's a heavy red zone target, so you can play him with confidence going forward. My number 23 is Robert Woods. Man, guys, if you told me going into the season that I would have Robert Woods 22 spots lower in my season-long rankings than Cooper Kupp, I would have told you you're out of your mind, but that's the case, guys. Robert Woods is not near Cooper Kupp in fantasy value right now. However, we've seen that there are weeks when the Rams play in closer games where Robert Woods gets targeted heavily, and he still gives you tremendous upside from week to week. And don't get it twisted, guys. There still will be weeks where Robert Woods outperforms Cooper Kupp for a fantasy standpoint. And considering the fact that he has that upside, it would be absolutely retarded to have him on your bench. So you need to play this guy every week. My number 24 is going to be Michael Thomas. I know Michael Thomas draftees are happy that he's in my top 25 because I think that with Jameis Winston, he's actually going to go back to producing pretty good fantasy numbers. It's not going to be the Michael Thomas that we saw with Drew Brees, but Jameis Winston can get his wide receiver 1 good fantasy numbers. We saw it, in his past, and he is the type of quarterback that can definitely produce great wide receiver numbers for Michael Thomas. So look for Michael Thomas to come on the scene hot, coming back from his injury. My number 25, last on my list, is T. Higgins. Guys, T. Higgins is a product of a great offense. He's a 6'4" alpha male wide receiver, and I see this dude getting in the end zone a lot more this year. He's coming back from injury. Look for him to come back strong. And being the fact that he's a product of a Bengals offense that scores a lot of points, he has good touchdown upside, so he cracks my top 25. All right, guys, those are my top 25 wide receivers going forward for the rest of the season. Let me know in the comments what you agree on or don't agree on. But I am confident in my rankings here, and I think this is a very accurate way to assess value in the wide receivers going forward. So I hope this video helped, guys. We're coming on to week 7. Good luck tomorrow in your matchups, and I appreciate all of the support, and I will catch you guys later.